Welcome back, Ronin Renegades, Knuckleheads, Tiger Tamers, that one Techlo Pounder who still thinks I might release mech content. 1 year ago today, a sad little boy with nothing but a webcam and a dream decided to start recording his Flesh and Blood games on Talishar. He thought that he was blaming variants too much, and that surely not every game was lost because of bad luck. Not every game was won because of skill, and he decided to do something about it. He thought that recording his games and watching them back after a few days, once he had lost all of his bias, might lead him to find misplays, missed opportunities, points where he could optimize his gameplay, and lo and behold, he was right. Turns out this Flesh and Blood player sucked ass, and through watching his games, internalizing his play, learning from his mistakes, he became the content creator you see today. That's right, that little boy was me. And here I am, 1 year later, still making daily Flesh and Blood content, still accepting comments, suggestions, feedback. Since starting daily FaB gameplay, I have top 32'd multiple callings, top 2'd multiple ProQuests or RTNs, and while that does not compare to the much greater accomplishments of other members of the Flesh and Blood community, it is enough for me to say, you know what, it was all worth it, let's keep going. Add to that the fact that so many of you have responded so well to what I do. You've all been so kind in the comments, come up to me at conventions, battle hardens, ProQuests, RTNs, callings, nationals. You say hi, you tell me how much you enjoy the videos. Some of you don't play the heroes that I play. I've had people come up and say I don't play FaB, I don't play KO or Zen or Dash, but I still watch your content because I enjoy the way you think about the game and it helps me think about the game. And to those people I say thank you so much. It means so much to me. I'm so glad that you have let me into your life, that you have been with me for however long it's been, and hopefully you continue to stay with me for the next year and years to come. I enjoy doing this. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I don't see myself slowing down. It helps me, if nothing else, helps me be a better Flesh and Blood player, and I also just enjoy making the videos. They're fun to do, commentating my play, especially the games where I really did make a huge mistake that I did not catch in the moment. It's so satisfying to see and say, wow, I suck. Let's try not to suck in the future. And I'd like to think that a year from now, I will suck a lot less than I do currently. And I have some hope for that because I can look at the game I posted 1 year ago today and say, you know what, let's see how far I've come. And that's something we're all going to do together. What I'm going to do is bring up my very first video, FaB versus Dorinthia, posted on July 3rd, 2023. We're going to watch it together. We're going to see parts that I could have improved gameplay-wise, and we're going to see how far I've come video-wise. Before we get to the game, I have to tell you that if you have not already done so, I'd appreciate if you dropped a YouTube subscription. It's free, it helps me out. The best paid way to support me is through Patreon. A Patreon link is in the video description below, as well as a link to my Twitter, X, as some may call it, and any of those socials that you wish to check out. I would truly appreciate it. The deck lists that I've been playing over the last year are in the description as well. Those are up on FaB, but you all know all of this. That isn't why you're here. You're here to watch the very first video that I ever put onto YouTube, and we are going to jump into that right now. Let's really just take in the entire experience. We've got the bookmark bar that is unhidden. We've got this beautiful haircut on this beautiful man in his beautiful tank top, his poorly lit face. We can see that he isn't streaming the video through OBS. He is in fact streaming himself, watching the Windows Media Player. We can see the old Talishar mock-up. This really is a time capsule to where we were in July of 2023. But, you know, this young boy here, this handsome young man, grew into the streamer Lupine Fiasco that you all know and love. So let's give this video a chance.
Well, this is
just jumping into it. No intro, No video elements, he's just going for it. He's got a webcam and a dream.
This is the first of what will be many videos of me casting a recording of myself playing Flesh and Blood on Talishar.net.
That all happened. He's still going to this day.
For the most part, I will be playing as FaB.
That's not true.
He's the hero I play, and the purpose of this is to rewatch my old decision making and determine if now, in the future, I still agree with those choices.
Sure.
In this game, I'm playing against Dorothea. Boarding decisions are taking out non-blocks and the worst 2 blocks in my list. So
makes sense.
Even bigger than that. And double strike, bringing in some 3 blocks, bringing in deal.
God forbid he shows us the sideboarding. Just take his word for it. I'm sure it's all accurate.
Reacts. The game plan here is to put them on the play. Much better for me. I get to block with my opening hand. Hoping to have big turn, small turn, where I'll reset Dawnblade. Really what happens in these matchups.
I miss old Talishar, by the way. I know it looks good now, it's serviceable, it's much cleaner than it used to be, but the cards overlaying in my hand, the way that they all just disappear from the hand and reappear onto the board, I think that's just neat.
Is that I do my best to set that up. Usually it fails because I draw a hand that doesn't block. But here we are just setting up, throwing the entire hand in front of the Dawnblade. It's unfortunate they have the Command and Conquer, so once
the audio quality from a year ago, really, longtime Ronin Renegades know it. I started this with a $10 webcam / microphone. We've since upgraded to a much better webcam and a separate Blue Yeti mic, so that you hear the dulcet tones of my voice, as opposed to the hideous feedback that you hear in this video.
Just take 6. Good news is we do have Knight of War. This is not the hand to play. In fact, this is not a good hand generally, but we'll get to keep the Art of War. So you strike for 5, go again, followed up by Snatch. This is really the best I can do. I don't feel good about it, but nothing in our hand pitches easily for Kadachi. Lavely can't get go again.
Remember Kadachi FaB? Kadachi Mask Momentum FaB? What a time that was, when that actually was legitimately a good strategy against the meta, because Lexi, the top deck at the time, didn't block. Her equipment sucked for blocking. We look at Zen now and say, wow, the best aggro hero in the meta can block for 7 with his fridge. Lexi could block for exactly 3 between New Horizon and Spring Tunic, neither of which she wanted to block with, compared to Traverse the Universe and Stride of Reprisal, which block for 3 and give insane benefits for doing so.
I don't want to use snaps.
That said, Arctic Incarceration Red at the end of a 3-arrow line is way worse, way more demoralizing than anything that Zen can put together.
On turn 1, if I can avoid it, they have all of their armor. I didn't want to throw Snatch, but I've really been making an effort to...
Zero editing has gone into this gameplay, which is how you're getting all of the undos. I try to cut all of that out in my videos now, which if anyone watches the chat while I'm playing, you may notice chat skipping around because things have happened in-game that I have cut out of the videos. No pre-production has gone into this video here. This was all one take, no editing ahead of time. Saved me a bunch of time to actually put the video together, but much to the detriment of the viewing audience.
Respect opponent's armor if I'm going to do a Snapdragon start. So we leave a little damage. 2 here. I'm expecting them to block this Snatch, which they do. So we get 4 of their armor, which is good for us. Yeah,
getting a lot of armor there is actually insane.
Art of War and Arsenal. This hand is pretty good to Art of War. Dawnblade does not have any counters, so I'm not incentivized to block anyway. They get to do a bunch of stuff, who cares? If they wanted to bolters here, that'd be great for us because they would not have blocked with it before destroying it. So here I am deciding whether I want to Art of War or whether I want to just do a big Spreading Flames turn. Spreading Flames brand Kodachi is a great line. Spreading Flames gets 5 points of value from that, 3 from itself, 1 from the Kodachi being Draconic, 1 from the Phoenix Flame that I can now bring back from my graveyard.
So dark in that face cam video. My goodness, no ring light at all.
For free. Looking at this now, this is a pretty good hand. I'm not really incentivized to Art of War, but I do agree with the decision. I don't know if I would make it again. I'm banishing the Snatch because I don't want the brand in case.
What an insane payoff, though. You get to yellow brand, red brand, yellow brand, which now gets the Spreading Flames buff. Get to find Phoenix Flame, which gets Shuko and Spreading Flames. We have Mask of Momentum in there, and then you get to Arsenal and Mounting Anger.
I need it to pitch. I don't want Snatch in case I draw one of the 7 other finishers in my deck. 3 Bottlers, 2 Salts, 2 Snatches. 30 strikes in there. I don't want to have to snaps this early. So we are
Excellent camera placement here because you cannot see my banish zone. You can barely see my resource count. That was something that someone brought up during the Dash games, was that they would like to be able to see my banish zone because it's relevant if I'm boosting. And that was a great decision just generally, which is why my webcam, you can even see it in the bottom left here, is just a little bit smaller than in the bottom right of the video we're watching. It also helps that I resized the actual replay to incorporate the entire screen so that the banish was more centered rather than right justified like it is here.
Just setting up, like I said, Kodachi. We're going to make this Kodachi attack for 2. Then using Sync here on the brand is credible for us. Kodachi comes in for 2. We have a couple of options here. We could Mounting Anger for 5, get the Phoenix Flame back, and set up.
I would have given myself grief for touching my face when I recorded. I try not to do that these days, but sometimes my face itches, so I'm not gonna tear into it too much. Makes sense. I don't drink the way that I used to in the old videos. You can see me drinking water, drinking alcohol sometimes. I mean, talk about unprofessional on my amateur YouTube channel.
Phoenix Flame for 3. That line is less good because they get to block it, and I am expecting them to. So we're just throwing the Phoenix Flame first. If they don't block this, they'll have to block Mounting Anger for 6 or outside draw. If they do block it, I can either Arsenal or Mounting Anger, or I can put it for 6. Wouldn't get the on hit, but if I was making this decision now, if they don't block this, Mounting Anger is easy. If they do block it, I would throw the Mounting Anger anyway. It would get 6 points of value. Their hand would be pretty reduced. I want to catch up on life here, and I'm fine not having an Arsenal. They do block. I decide to Kodachi for a point of damage instead of an Arsenal. Looking back, I don't know if I agree with this decision. I understand it, but I don't agree with it. They open with a Steel Blade, so we are just...
You're gonna block with everything.
Blocking here. We're not gonna let this hit. We're blocking for 5. We're expecting to sink. This hand, they don't react, which is fine for me. This hand we can set up 1/1/4, Kodachi, Mounting Anger.
So I think actually it should be Mounting Anger, Kodachi, Lava Burst. 1/1/4 makes a lot more sense if we are just trying to get cards away so that we can Arsenal the sink below. But if we lead with the Mounting Anger, Dorinthia is more incentivized to block it because she prevents additional value later. Or she doesn't block the mounting anger, we get to banish the lava burst, and then because we already have the sink below, it doesn't matter that we might not draw a card for Mask of Momentum, it matters that we are getting additional damage. If we go 1/1/4, Doria is already incentivized to block the mounting anger because she needs to stop us from drawing a card. So if we lead with mounting anger, we are giving her the opportunity to misplay. And that was a line that took me a really long time to learn through playing Kodachi FaB. I waffled on it a few times of saying, do we want to go 1/1/4/5 or do we go 4/1/1/5? 4/1/1/5 was a little worse at drawing the card, but I eventually came to realize that we don't want to stack our on hits. We want to stagger the on hits so that whoever we're playing against has a harder time blocking. Even if they are denying us the card draw, they are taking more damage. None of that matters now because FaB is a dead hero. But while he was alive, oof, what a time that was.
Get a block that way, or we can 4/1/1/5. If they do block the mounting anger early, then they are unlikely to stop the lava burst late. This line just lets us play the card if mounting anger does hit. I think this is a fine decision. Talishar is buggy. If this was in paper, we would draw for Mask of Momentum first.
They fixed that, fortunately. That it does work that way now that the mounting anger or soaring strike, whatever hit effect you have goes on the stack, and you can order it so that it triggers before Mask of Momentum, but it did not for a really long time.
We would have chosen this brand to not broadcast exactly what we're doing, but as it is, we get to brand for 1, lava burst for 7. We're putting a sink below an arsenal. They're keeping a 5-card hand here, so I'm assuming they're going to do something gross. So I think the sink is great. We have 2/3 blocks, which is great. We have a 3-link turn if we block with our 3 blocks and our sink below. So this is a great example of a game where we can't afford to do big turn, small turn. We can block with our 3 blocks here. If we block nothing, this hand is actually really good for going on offense.
Yeah, you should probably block nothing. Dorinthia has hardly any armor left.
That is what it looks like I'm opting to do, which I think is fine.
You're also at 28 with a sink below. You're for sure not dead. You're going to do a ton of damage and threaten card draw.
We'll see if I block with the blue lava vein. I am really priced into blocking with lava burst as well later on in the turn because, well, not necessarily. We'll see.
No, you are.
I was doing this now. Let's see. Before I make this choice.
Yeah. So we just saw me pause the video externally through Windows Media Player for I think the first time in this video, which means that all of this cursor movement, all of the downtime where I'm talking is downtime from the actual game itself. None of that was cut out. This is an 18-minute video that was posted to YouTube. The game itself has probably 13 or 14 minutes of actual play time, so that's 5 entire minutes that could have been cut out of this. But what's pre-production? I don't know what those... I know what those words mean separately, but when they're put together, audience experience, I know what those 2 words mean, but when they're together like that, I might as well be speaking a foreign language, am I right?
Replay. Considering that they blocked with, or they activated Courage, I'm thinking that they're going to do some heinous stuff. On the other hand, I'm at 28, and they haven't played Steel Blade, they haven't played Supremacy, or Glistening Steel Blade Supremacy. And looking at this now, this hand, I get to go 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 5. Playing this out, I'm fine to just take this damage.
It's a 6-link turn. Again, little mental shortcut that I developed way too late into playing Kodachi FaB. A blue plus a brand with Cinderclaw is 4 chain links. Kodachi, brand, Phoenix Flame. Then the other 2 cards in your hand are just 2 more chain links. So we really could have just shortcut this to 6 link hand. I do not want to block with any of the cards because I want to threaten 2 Mask of Momentum triggers. And if I do block with blue Lava Vein, I am now kind of priced into blocking with Lava Burst because then I have now lost 2 chain links in Lava Vein. I can lose a 3rd chain link in Lava Burst, and my turn is pitch yellow brand Kodachi Rising Resentment.
They want to throw some attack reactions here and just get Dawnblade up to 80 counter, push 15 points of damage. That's fine. I keep a sync. I'm still going to threaten Mask. They have very little armor left. If I was to redo this, I would go full aggro. And it looks like that's what I'm doing here. Fangdal to get up to 21 is fine.
I say that like I'm over talking in this video. I'm sharing too much. Again, this was an 18-minute video I put up on YouTube. The Dash.io game from yesterday that went 4 turns long ended up being a 30-minute video. So if the idea is that I'm making fun of myself for sharing too much, that problem was never solved.
Run through is fine. It's just getting to go again. The next attack will be for 5. But again, what are they threatening that I care about? This is just damage. And anytime you play against a Dorinthia, this is where we really get. Sometimes we just don't block and we race because it's fine, we'll out damage Dorinthia. And see here they push it up to 11. Okay, we took 14 damage this turn and Dawnblade got a counter. We're going to push 14 damage and we still have the opportunity to block.
FaB goes to the bathroom and deals 14 damage.
Dawnblade on our next turn. So a good rule of thumb, playing Kodachis, I forget this a lot myself when I play in paper, is that a brand plus a pitch for Kodachi is just whatever it pitches for plus brand. That's how many links you're getting in the turn. So brand plus a blue is 4 links. The brand, 2 Kodachis, and the Phoenix Flame. What I am working on now in my own play is not leading with the brand if I don't have to. And here I have 1 resource floating. I have 2 Draconic starters in hand. So I'm going to get to pick up my Phoenix Flame regardless of what happens. And what that means is I can backload more of my damage. And we saw how that worked, where the opponent had 1/1/2, the opponent blocked my 2 power attack with a 3 cost, 3 defense card, which is great.
Remember when Stab Wound was good FaB attack? Oof, now we only have Rowdy Locals and Aspect of Tiger Body as the sick FaB attack.
So you're going to watch me be distracted by OBS on my first day of using it and make a bad blocking choice. Because I have 2 sync blows, I'm expecting to use at least 1 on this Dawnblade. Dawnblade being 4 and almost all of Dorinthia's attack reactions being +3 means that I should block 7. And I'm going to block with armor here anyway. I'm going to advertise what I'm doing. So I should block with Furnace and Mask of Momentum. What I'm going to block with is just Mask of Momentum.
Idiot.
Syncolo then takes that up to 6, so that I have to use my second sync blow on any of their attack reactions, like a dumb person.
He knew.
So there should be Mask of Momentum and Furnace blocking. The other decision to make here is, am I blocking with Mask of Momentum or am I blocking with Shuko? In this situation, see, and here's the route, which doesn't get the route effect, but it does add +3, which I should have been able to block, but didn't because I'm bad at this game, which is why
That's why we're making the videos.
I'm doing this. It isn't a total loss. I could choose to take this damage. I don't want to because I don't want to reset the Dawn Blade going into the rest of this game. Blocking with the second Sink Below here prevents the possibility of another attack reaction pushing.
It's definitely wrong.
You over the top, but it'd be great if I didn't have to do that. It'd be great if I had to make the opponent act instead of acting myself. I'm not sinking anything because this is still 5 links. The choice between Shuko and Mask of Momentum, I agree with. It's difficult, and with them at 9 life, if they were at 4 life, I would say block with Mask of Momentum. If they were at 15 life, I would say block with Shuko. But then being at 9 is a weird place to be in, where I'm going to be able to threaten Mask throughout the rest of the game, because they have very little armor left. But Shuko would be getting value this turn and is not. If I could have attacked with a Phoenix, if I still had Shuko, I could have paid 1 to activate 5, pick up my Phoenix Flame for 2, which gets over Brave Forge Bracers and under that Glistening Steel Blade. And I still would have had my Rising Resentment to attack for 3. In hindsight, I don't agree with blocking.
Yeah, but like you don't draw a card. I feel like that's what you're building to here is saying, and then I draw for Mask of Momentum. You might just, and I'm sure I'm just referring to, I get an extra point of damage to put my opponent down to 4. I don't like the way I phrased that. It sounds like I'm describing how I draw a card with Mask of Momentum, which I wouldn't have done because it would be broken.
Shuko, I think I should have blocked with Mask of Momentum, and I understand why I did it, but I don't agree with it. Here, Dawnblade for 3, I'm not super concerned about what they're going to do. They still have the bolters, so this could just be another Dawnblade for 3. It gets a counter. I am making this decision now, would block with a Soul Beat Strike, because I am not going to be able to use 2 of them well, and I don't want to give my opponent the option of stopping my attack. So if I were doing this now, I'd block with a Soul Beat Strike. Yeah, they attack react over it, but I'm taking resources out of their hand for them to just do stupid damage that I don't.
Unless they have Iron Song response and then you turned on Reprise. I don't know why you're considering blocking here at all. Oh, Soul Beat Strike doesn't do anything. It does 2 points of damage. It lets you Kadachi, Rising Ronin Renegade, Lava Vein Loyalty, pitch a resource into 5 for Phoenix Flame, Soul Beat Strike for 2. You're threatening lethal damage at what it does. Dory can't kill you from 14 with 4 cards.
Care about. The other option is blocking with Equipping, because I'm not really expecting to trigger Mask Momentum anymore, because now the on hit is they die. This line also prevents Reprise. Overpowered for +2. Cool. That was your whole hand.
Sassy Lupine Fiasco is my favorite Lupine Fiasco.
They get to do bolters here, which they will do. They get to Brave Forge. They get to Dawnblade. And it's Dawnblade for 4. And here I won't be blocking because with 0 resources, the only thing they can do is Iron Song response, which does nothing if it has no Reprise. So even though Soul Beat Strike on its own is kind of a dumpy card, here it's just 2 damage. And if I block with it, it is potentially, I get Iron Song response, I take 4 damage anyway, and I don't get to attack with it. Here we're just pushing damage. 1-1, 3-3, 1-2. Because we're just trying to get them low enough that I win the game. Mask Momentum is gone because, like I said, they're low enough that now the on hit is you die. I'm never going to draw a card.
It's a good on hit.
For Mask Momentum, because if I hit enough times, they'll lose the game. So we're just pushing damage now. When they sink below this, that's fine. We get to activate 5 for 1 point of damage. Here we are still pushing lethal, which is great. The Dawnblade only has 1 counter, so if they keep 1 card to attack with, That isn't lethal. And if we get enough cards out of their hand, then they either only get to attack with Dawnblade, not threaten the attack reaction, which you set, or they don't get to attack with it at all, which is the goal. But you can Dorinthia, if you can afford to not block that and not die, that's great, because you want to, if you can deny them cards in hand to attack with Dawnblade, no matter how many counters it has, they lose the counters. So here we go to 4, that's fine. We are setting up for Spreading Flames, Brand the Cinderclaw. We're going very wide here. We're going to send a lot of 2s, which is great because it's lethal, and because Dory's cards all block for 3, they're losing value. Even if we don't win.
I mean, that doesn't matter at this point. They're keeping value by staying alive. I understand what you're saying, young me, but let's not overinflate what's happening here. No, the on-hit is death. We don't need to talk, we're gaining value. Dorinthia's just trying to stay alive, you blowhard.
The game here, we're just stripping the hand, and that's all we want to do. Sigil brings them up to 5, that's fine, because this Kabachi takes them to 3, this Kabachi will take them to 2, the Phoenix Flame will attack for 2, so they have to block this, and then Ravenous Rabble will take them to 1, put them in Kabachi lock, and then the game is just over. You can hear me not turning my microphone off.
Professional.
For recording this game.
Also, let's just talk about this E-Strike play. E-Strike for 5 go against 4/4 wins the game. But in what world is that the correct play? The line is Ronin, Blaze, pick up Phoenix Flame, bottom it for E-Strike 7. And I don't think I'm going to talk about it because it wins me the game. But there is no world where that is the correct line. Ronin, Blaze, E-Strike pushes 18 damage off a 4-card hand. We bottom a Phoenix Flame that we don't need. E-Strike for 5, Blaze is a 4-card 13, which is much worse than that.
This is my first time with OBS. This doesn't matter.
Oh my god, the buff power snap play. No, you disrespect them by keeping your snap.
This is the first 2, the Phoenix Flame.
Alright, I take back everything I just said about me being unprofessional because I restarted the video, so clearly I've learned nothing.
Will attack for 2, so they have to block this. And then Ravenous Rabble will take them to 1, put them in Kabachi lock, and then the game is just over. You can hear me not turning my microphone off.
Hey man, we get it, alright? Broadcasting is hard. I'm gonna give you some grace here. You're doing a great job.
For recording this game. This is my first time with OBS. This doesn't matter. We're going to send 7, we're going to block, or we're going to activate Snapdragons. Blaze Headlong, but if we use this game much earlier, E-Strike for 5 go again, 4/4 still wins the game. And that's it.
It's a bad line though.
That is how you beat Dorinthia.
100% of the time, there's absolutely no way that it can fail.
Sometimes you do get the hands where you can block really well, that's a good example, and sometimes you don't care what Dorinthia is going to do because you'll just crack back for more than they have.
Glad that I'm leaving up the, again, Windows Media Player here and not, the stat screen or any relevant information. This is good. It's building an environment, an atmosphere that I really want to foster.
Join me next time for more mid-level FaB gameplay.
That's what it ended up being. And that's it. We did it. We successfully did a thing. So what a year it has been. Clearly, we've come a long way since those humble beginnings. We played a lot of FaB, swapped to Dash, swapped to KO, now we're on Zen. When Rosetta comes out, we'll be Aurora gamers. And at the time, I thought there was absolutely no way I would swap off a FaB until he LL'd. And yet here I am, playing good heroes instead of bad ones. I hope you have all enjoyed the trip. For those of you who have been here from the very beginning, you have my infinite gratitude and appreciation. Thank you for sticking with me through all of it, through technical difficulties, through learning curves, through growing pains. Those of you who have just come in recently, thank you so much for joining the party, for subscribing to the channel, for giving me your eyes, your views, your comments, your likes. It means so much to me to be able to do this for all of you. It means so much to me that you are willing to view my ramblings on how I can grow from being a above average Flesh and Blood player into a great one. I will continue doing this for as long as I'm playing the game, and invite you to continue watching me for as long as you care to. So if you have enjoyed daily FaB gameplay, if you've learned anything from it, be sure to head jab, assault and batter, techlo pound that like button. My comments are always open for any questions or feedback. If you haven't already done so, please consider a YouTube subscription. It's free, it helps me out. I'm on Patreon, I'm on Twitter. Links to those socials are in the video description below. I will not have a video tomorrow. It is the 4th of July here in the US of A, and I will be doing something else. So until the next time I see you, take care.